Alright, welcome back to the channel. We have a lot to go through in this video. I travel all the way down to St. George to run the St. George Marathon in an attempt to have a really good race and also increase my progress on my goal to reach $10,000 in prize money at some future unknown date. We'll get there eventually. I haven't given up on the dream. I'm gonna get there, okay? All you haters, just... For those of you who are aware of the St. George Marathon, it is one of the fastest courses you're gonna find in the country, frankly, because it is dramatically downhill, but it is a heck of a lot of fun, and it is in my backyard, and it is a wonderful, good, fun event, so let's get right into it. All right, pre-race shakeout. I haven't actually left Provo yet. It is right around 23 hours before the start time, and I'll be heading down in just a few hours to St. George. There's not really much to say here. I'm gonna do some strides, get a couple more miles in, then we're gonna pack up and head out. Let's go. Trying to get my fueling prepped for the race tomorrow. I'm not doing anything special. I'm doing exactly the same thing as I've been doing for, I don't know. So what I've got for the fueling is some quick cooked rolled oats and black beans. This is actually what I have going on here. So I've got typical Martin 320, caffeine 100. I'm gonna go through maybe up to 2. And then I've got a whole bunch of these gels I'm gonna take as well. Probably one on the start line, one in my pocket, tape a few to my bottles, and yeah. That's about it. There you have it. Bottles are complete. Just taping gels to half of them, and then I will pack a couple along with me, just in case something goes wrong. And this is pretty sick. I get to write number 1 on the bottles. I am the defending champion. And will I defend my title this year? I'll talk more about that later. Before we get too far into this video, lots of people have been asking me, why are you running a downhill marathon in the middle of your build for CIM to OTQ? And that's a great question, and sometimes I ask myself the same thing. I have good reasons. In fact, there's so many reasons that I'm running this marathon I can't even count. It's like 3. Yeah, it's only 3. I guess I can count. I can count to 3. Reason number 1 is that my grandparents live in the area in St. George. You got to visit them, and it's a great trip. It's a great excuse to do that. Reason number 2 is because it's a ton of fun. I have to slot in some races in my schedule that I'm doing just because I enjoy it and I'm excited to get out there and compete. St. George is one of those races. The third reason that I chose to do this is perhaps the most relevant reason to why you're asking. As someone who is training to qualify for the Olympic trials, but who also has a family and a full-time job and just other responsibilities outside of running, my schedule is brutal. I'll be the first to tell you that's unsustainable. That lifestyle is just absolutely not sustainable. I cannot do that week in and week out. I will be burnt out so quick. In fact, looking at the last few years of my training, it's pretty rare that I get more than like 8 weeks of really high quality weeks in a row. It just doesn't really happen because I get burnt out. And I know this about myself now that I've been living this chaotic life for the last 3.5 years. Honestly, I think it is a good thing for me to take my 16-week CIM build and to break it up into 2 smaller builds. So that's what I've done. 1 8-week build for St. George, take a couple down weeks before and after the marathon, and then I get another 8-week block right before CIM. I think it's actually the best way for me to stay really fit, get 2 separate blocks. I'm just rambling. At this point, I've already explained it, so. First, we stopped at the expo to pick up my packet. All right, everybody. Bib number 1 this year. I had to come back to rep bib number 1. All right, let's go. As you can tell, I'm pretty excited to be bib number 1. it was pretty cool. In fact, I've already hung up my bib number. See, it's right there. I was too excited about it. I couldn't wait for the video to put it up. Following the expo, we went back to my grandparents' house where we ate some mobetas for dinner. Good solid meal. I got to bed, got some good sleep before waking up real early for the marathon. I'm here just outside of St. George at my grandparents' house, night before the race. It's about 8 o'clock. Everything's going good. So, let's talk about this race tomorrow. Tomorrow is the St. George Marathon. It is not my primary race of the fall season. Of course, if you're following me closely, you know that I am going after the OTQ, the Olympic Trials qualifying mark, which is sub 2:16. That's not until December at the California International Marathon. This marathon is just kind of for fun, kind of because I won this marathon last year, so I get to come defend my title. That's pretty sweet. I've never had bib number 1 in a race. Let's talk about the race itself. My good friend Jake Heslington, who's been training hard, he's actually really trying to win this race. He's peaked for this race specifically. He's at 2:13. He ran 2:13 at Boston this year. So even if I have a great day feeling comfortable, I'm not beating him unless something happens to him. So I don't even know if I want to win. I think I just want to run it with him until maybe close to the end, and maybe he outkicks me. I don't know how it's going to play out. Podium finish is the goal. I will run hard to get on the podium, you know, and if comfortable is like, maybe I run sub 2:16 on this downhill course. I don't know. Okay, I'm talking way too much to the camera. I need to get my stuff ready. I'm gonna get ready for bed. We'll see you bright and early in the morning for the race.
Good morning. It is about 4:45 a.m. race morning. Things feel good. I actually woke up feeling pretty good. I slept probably 5.5, 6 hours. I'm excited for this year. The weather is actually so nice. Typically it's a pretty hot day, ending in the mid 70s at the finish line. Today it's gonna start at 40 degrees and end at like 55 by the end. Could be a really fast day. I would not be surprised to see somebody take down the course record, either myself, Jake Heslington, and the course record is 2:14:40, I think. And yeah, would not be surprised to see that go down today. I don't know that I'm going for it necessarily unless I feel pretty good, but either way, it should be a really fun day on the course. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. We're gonna get on the bus here pretty soon.
Then after a long bus ride, we finally made it to the start line. I got to the start line about an hour before the race, and as with many other marathons, they had this nice little elite corral area for us to hang out while we got ready for the race. But let me tell you, this race did not play out the way that I expected it to. Second behind Jake would be perfect execution. I didn't know what that would land me for time, and frankly, it doesn't matter because this race drops 2,600 feet. Yeah, you heard it right, 2,600 feet. That's 600 in the first half and 2,000. It drops, yes, 2,000 feet in the second half of this course. It's so absurd how much this course drops in elevation in the second half. It's just wild. Strava flybys. Oh yeah. All right, so sorry, here we are at the start. Let's start this. I'm just gonna add some people here on the toggle bar. I don't know how many people to add. I'm just gonna keep clicking on people. I mean, I want to see like the whole start line. Okay, I think I've officially clicked on like 50 people. Let's get this race kicked off. I'll slow it down just a little bit. And ready, 3, 2, 1, and we're off. Unfortunately, this is far less exciting than the actual start, but there you can see all the woo! Start the marathon. Okay, sorry. I'm so sorry. This is just so stupid. I expected Jake to go out with us in the front, and maybe it would just be me and Jake pretty quick. But that is not what happened, okay? A mile into the race, I find myself in a pack of like 9 people, and Jake is not even there. So I'm looking around. Like, where's Jake? I audibly told the group, I said, where's Jake? Like, he's supposed to be winning this race. Where is he? I look back and he's like probably 10 seconds back a mile into this race. So I don't know what was going on. I went out on the pace that Jake and I agreed to at the beginning, and he wasn't there. So I don't know what he was doing. Lo and behold, he catches up by mile 5. And he turns to me and he says, and I quote, "Let's tango." Then we proceeded to run together as a pack for quite a while. That's my wife calling me. I'm gonna have to answer that. Jake finally caught up at mile 5. And then by the start of mile 8 is when you are leaving the little town of Veo and you climb actually a big hill, and over the miles, 8 through 12, you actually climb like 300 feet. We get to the hill, and as we climb the hill, it whittles down to just 5 athletes. We get to about mile 10, and Jake turns to me and he says, I need to stop at the porta potty. And I was like, can you hold it? And he's like, I don't know. So we see some porta potties, and he looks over to them and he looks at me, he says, I'm gonna stop. So I said, all right, see you in 10K. Figured he'd catch up pretty quick. Well, over the rest of those hills, we whittled down to just 3 of us, okay? Eric Nelson, JJ Santana, and myself. Jake's nowhere to be seen. I have no idea where he is. I haven't seen him. I can't hear him. I don't know, but I keep expecting he's gonna catch up because, he's really fast. We go through the first half in 68:27. Around mile 18, I think was when JJ Santana fell off. And then at about mile 20, I started kind of pushing down a big hill, and I finally broke Eric Nelson, who was just having a really phenomenal day. And I had about a mile-ish that I ran alone and thought, you know what? I might just be two-peating today. I might repeat today. Lo and behold, here comes Jake. Comes right up next to me at mile 21. And that's when I knew, all right, Jake's probably going to win today. Let's just run it in together. Right at about a half mile to go, we were weaving through some half marathoners. We came out to the final turn, and Jake had a couple seconds on me already, and yeah, that was it. Jake won the race right there.
This year's marathon came down to the final seconds. Jake Heslington crossed the finish line just 2 seconds ahead of last year's champ, Michael Otteson, setting a new course record at 2 hours, 13 minutes, and 56 seconds.
So I have to offer a huge congratulations to my good friend Jake for nabbing the win at this marathon. Also huge praises to all those in the race here. So many people ran so fast, and this was an all-time historic performance at this marathon. All right, we are a couple hours after the race. Second place, 2 seconds behind my training partner, Jake. Jake had a great day. Everybody's happy. And it just felt really good. Honestly, I felt strong all the way to the finish. I think that I can confidently say that's the first marathon that's true. I have never felt good at the end until today. Really just gets me excited about CIM, my primary race. I'm hoping that, excuse me, I'm trying to record a video. Yeah, hoping I can bounce back and recover pretty quick from this, because most people would say it's not ideal to run 2 marathons in a build, but I really actually appreciate taking some down weeks and to kind of reset and then do it again. And it's been nice. So that said, this next week I'll probably keep low-ish. And then the week after that, we're right back at it. I've already acknowledged the downhill, but before people come ripping on these times for the downhill, I do have to say this, okay? I checked the gap paces on Strava, the grade adjusted paces on Strava, and my average was 5:16 with Jake gap pace. So if you do the math, that is the equivalent of running a 2:18 on a flat course. There you have it. I think it's actually probably still worth a 2:17 flat-ish. I would say add 3 minutes. And that's also because we're going undulating. It beats you up. And the entire first half of the race is at like 5,000 feet. And that brings us back here. I have been itching to do this for months. It has been so freaking long since I got to update the thermometer. Previously, we made $4,400 in prize money from fun runs at the St. George Marathon, placing second this year. I made $800, which brings my total to $5,200. There we go. Freshly updated to $5,200, and that brings us officially past the halfway mark. It's just been a year and a half since I started the challenge, but I'm finally past halfway to $10,000. Before we sign off, just to update you, I'm recording this 6 days after the marathon, and honestly, my legs today feel pretty close to normal. I have just taken a pretty chill week this week. I'll be running a long run tomorrow and then right back into training next week. So I don't think that this marathon set me back in any real significant way. And besides that, thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you in the next video.